Right now at 5, an outbreak of bird flu has been reported in Neosho, Missouri.
And we've got bitterly cold temperatures to start this week. It will eventually warm up, but that's not until later. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door today, coming up.
Plus, Nevada police are seeking the public's help in catching an armed robbery suspect.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is very cold outside.
It's freezing.
Really, that's about all you need to know for today. It is dangerously cold, honestly, in some locations.
Right.
Well, in every location. It's just too cold to go outside. Once again, my car, the battery is fine. It just does not like the cold.
Mine was having trouble this morning too because it's just that cold. It really is.
The good news is we our good friend Trevor, our morning photographer we talk about all the time. He was able to bring me into work this morning because, like I said, it just would not do it. It was working, it just wouldn't go. So just be prepared for that as well, depending on how cranky your car may be in the cold weather.
Right.
Could have a few problems getting out the door. And speaking of getting out the door, let's take a look outside. Our camera in downtown Pittsburgh looks good. Looks really good, doesn't it? Looks nice. It's not nice. It is, and it's cold in here. Like the air is off in this studio, and it is frigid in here. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it is just me, but it is cold in this building too. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline, looking fairly good this morning as well. Heading over to the KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh on 69, and it is eerily quiet, but otherwise we're doing all right. We do have a cold weather advisory that runs through noon today. Now, even though we have all those different offices that cover us, this is one of the few times I've seen them all agree on a time. All of the advisories here expire at noon tomorrow, because these bitterly cold temperatures are going to continue through today, into tonight, and into tomorrow before we'll eventually start to see a little bit of a warming trend. So for today, here we are at noon. Got upper teens, low 20s. Could have a stray snow shower or two, maybe some light flurries. And remember, flurries, it's one of those things, the future track has a hard time with it. Radar can't pick them up because they're not dense enough, but we could see flurries really anywhere. But otherwise, we're looking at mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. And again, an isolated snow shower flurry. A dusting, maybe half an inch at most in terms of accumulations. Not expecting much in the way of snowfall at all, but just, maybe on the grassy surfaces. Joplin, the airport is not reporting a current temperature, but at last check from some backup data, we're sitting around 6. We're at 5 in Pittsburgh right now. Take a look at temperatures around the region. They are bitterly cold. Every last one of us into the single digits out there, from the low, mid, and upper single digits, if that makes any sense at all. However, most of us, the winds are pretty calm, but where it's picked up even just a little, feels like 3 below in Nevada and 7 below zero in Fort Scott. The good news is I know a lot of kids are out of school today, and it's a good thing because it's too cold to be waiting for that bus. We're talking about starting around 10, eventually highs today, upper teens, low 20s, a few isolated snow showers out there, and a mix of mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. We will have a bit of a breeze, thankfully not anything significant, and we will eventually warm up this week. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. An outbreak of bird flu is reported at Opal Foods in Neosho, Missouri. The outbreak was confirmed last week at the Hathaway farm near Crowder in Neosho. The virus was identified after an increase in bird mortality prompted testing by state and USDA labs. As a result, all 1.6 million birds at the facility are being euthanized. Larry Bergner with the Newton County Health Department says employees are being monitored. So far, there have been no signs of illness. Bergner also says there is no public health risk at this time. Clay County deputies were executing a court order at LPG Ventures just before 7 Saturday morning at the storage, tanking, and equipment company off North Jefferson Street in Kearney. They were there to seize business assets to be sold to pay an $8,000 judgment in a civil case. As deputies were processing the scene, a spokesperson for the sheriff's office says a man believed to be the owner of the business snuck onto the property, jumped into an 85,000-pound crane, and started to drive it toward the deputies. Those deputies drew their guns to stop the driver, who they say resisted but was eventually arrested. The man is currently in the Clay County Detention Center on an investigative hold for assault on officers. He has yet to be formally charged, but investigators say charges are likely. Multiple emergency responders were alerted to a house fire in Webb City early Sunday morning. Officials say on arrival, heavy fire was observed from the southeast corner of the home. Both Liberty Utilities and Spire Gas were asked to cut service to the home. The fire was said to be under control by 7:45 a.m. No information as to what caused the fire, but you can watch for updates on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Authorities are asking for the public's help in locating a male suspected of robbing a convenience store in Nevada, Missouri. At approximately 10 p.m. Friday evening, Nevada police were alerted to the robbery. Reports say the male suspect, dressed in an all-black, entered the store and brandished a handgun. Now, the suspect then fled on foot with an undisclosed amount of cash. The public is asked to contact the Nevada Police Department with any information you may have. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The NFC Championship game is now officially set up. We'll have the details. Plus, pets of all shapes and sizes were all dressed on St. Anthony's Day in Spain. And we have a cold and cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, the NFL playoffs really start to heat up at this time of year. The Kansas City Chiefs took care of business in the divisional round. Chiefs are headed to their 7th straight AFC Championship game. Meanwhile, more playoff action continues across the league on Sunday. So we're going to start with the NFC divisional between the LA Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles. First quarter, Jalen Hurts with the read option. He decides to keep it. Turns out to be a great decision because Hurts breaks away for a 44-yard touchdown. We got all those guys chasing him. Philadelphia takes a 6-0 lead after a missed PAT. But the Rams didn't take long to respond. Matthew Stafford drops back and completes this pass to his tight end, Tyler Higbee. Rams take a 7-6 lead over the Eagles. So we're going to jump to the fourth quarter. Eagles lead 22-15. Snow globe in Philly. Jalen Hurts hands it off to Saquon Barkley, and no one is there to catch him. When he accelerates at full speed, a 78-yard touchdown extends the Philadelphia lead to 28-15. Barkley had 205 rushing yards in this game alone. Last chance for the Rams. Eagles lead 28-22. Matthew Stafford has to throw quickly, and that football sails out of bounds. That's the ball game. Eagles beat the Rams 28-22. Philadelphia advances to the next round. So that means the NFC Championship game is officially set up. Washington Commanders will face their division rival Philadelphia next Sunday. The winner goes to Super Bowl 59. You can watch that matchup next Sunday on Fox 14. Over to the AFC divisional between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. Winner plays the Chiefs next week. First quarter, it's third down, and Lamar Jackson drops back. He's got plenty of time to find Rashad Bateman over the middle. Ravens strike first, Baltimore leading 7-0. Later in the first, Buffalo has an answer. Ray Davis cuts up the middle, and he scores the touchdown. That ties the game. We're even at 7 points apiece. So we go to the second quarter. Buffalo leading 14-10. Josh Allen going to take it himself. He plows behind his offensive lineman to give Buffalo a 21-10 lead going into halftime. So we go to the second half. Baltimore gives it to Derrick Henry. He pounds his way to the end zone. Buffalo still led 21-19 at that point. Let's go to the fourth quarter. Buffalo leading 27-19. Baltimore needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Lamar Jackson just takes his time, no pressure at all, and steps up and finds Isaiah Likely for the touchdown. The Ravens still need a 2-point conversion. Next play, Lamar Jackson looks for Mark Andrews, but he drops the ball. That would have tied the game. Huge mistake in a big moment. Buffalo hangs on to beat the Ravens 27-25, which means This Buffalo Bills will come to Kansas City next Sunday to play the Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC Championship game. The winner will go to the Super Bowl, and you can watch this game next Sunday right here on KOAM. Kickoff set for 5:30. Shifting over to pro basketball, the Oklahoma City Thunder return to action this Sunday. Oklahoma City coming off a rare loss after losing to the Dallas Mavericks on Friday night. Thunder return to their home floor Sunday night. OKC taking on the Brooklyn Nets last night. Starting in the first quarter, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander spins his way to the rim and finishes the slam. SGA had 27 points on the night for OKC. Later in the second quarter, Isaiah Joe buries the three. He had 8 3-pointers in this game. Thunder lead by 21. Over to the third quarter, Jalen Williams finds plenty of space right to the basket, and he throws it down for a big dunk, giving the Thunder a 15-point lead. Later in the third, SGA with a beautiful pass in transition to Aaron Wiggins, who lays it in. And check out the pass once again. SGA threads the needle. Oklahoma City goes back to their winning ways. Thunder beat the Brooklyn Nets 127-101. Still to come, the Department of Justice is suing Walgreens for allegedly filling unlawful prescriptions. Plus, another check of that bitterly cold forecast and maybe a little glimmer of hope on the horizon when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We're going to start with, that's what I wanted to start with, the cold weather advisory. So, remember, this replaced wind chill warnings, watches, and all that other business that they used to have. It's all been consolidated. Cold weather advisories mean that the temperatures are going to be into the single digits, or wind chills are going to be at that point, or in the below zero range by just a bit. All of them run until noon. I say all of them because, again, we have 5 different weather offices that cover our area. This is one of the rare times where they all have agreed that all of these will run through noon tomorrow because it is going to be dangerously cold across the area. Now, through today, we're looking at mostly cloudy to just straight up cloudy skies. And as we head through the late morning into the afternoon, some snow showers possible. Now, we're not looking at much in the way of snow, and what we do see shouldn't add up to much. Some locations could pick up a dusting to maybe a ½ inch, primarily on grassy surfaces. Could lead to a few slick spots on roadways just because it's going to be cold enough. It can stick to just about anything, but we're not expecting much in the way of snowfall in general. So don't worry too much, just be aware of this. Now, as we go overnight tonight, we're partly cloudy, skies gradually clearing. Look at these temperatures again by tomorrow morning, not much different than what we're experiencing right now. The key difference going into tomorrow is more sunshine. It will certainly look warmer outside. It will not be, but it will look warmer, and we'll have a southwest breeze, which is a good indication too of some warmer temperatures that'll be on the way, and that will start to roll in as we head into Wednesday. So clouds increase a bit Tuesday night into Wednesday. We go into Wednesday morning and afternoon. We are partly to mostly cloudy. We got that southerly breeze, but look at these temperatures. I know that's not, shorts weather by any means, but it's certainly better than 10 degrees, okay? We're looking at low to mid 30s as we head to Wednesday afternoon. Could even get into the upper 30s, couple of low 40s out there, so not too bad. Slight improvements. It's one step at a time. It's baby steps out there because this sucks. I'm sorry, really, honestly, there's no other way to describe this. It is 4 in Fort Scott and Lamar. We've got 5 Iola, Pittsburgh, Joplin. You get the idea. We're in the single digits. Now, thankfully, our winds are pretty light, but we are seeing some wind chills out there below zero. Fort Scott earlier was 7 below zero, even with a light breeze, okay? So make sure you're bundled up if you have to go outside. If you don't have to go outside, don't. Then we're going to start here, about 6 to start. Upper teens by 11 a.m. Partly cloudy to start. Clouds increasing. Could see those isolated flurries here and there. We'll have a northwest breeze around 5 to 10. Eventually, highs today, upper teens, low 20s. Again, scattered snow showers. Nothing major, but some. Back into the single digits tonight. Mid to upper 20s tomorrow. Oh boy. Teens Tuesday night. By Wednesday, though, look at this. We're starting to warm up. We're getting upper 30s and low 40s, maybe even near 50 by the weekend with a few rain showers possible as well. Let's check your forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. Nicotine is a hard substance to quit. It's what health experts say makes cigarettes so addictive. But what if cigarettes contained less nicotine? Well, that's a new bid the Food and Drug Administration is pursuing to try and help millions of Americans quit. Ted Lindner reports.
With the science we know today, it's no shock cigarettes are bad for your health.
The vast majority of smokers want to quit. The problem is they are so addicted.
But for those who inhale them, the nicotine inside triggers pleasure centers in the brain, making it hard to stop.
It is one of the most addictive substances.
And with CDC data revealing that cigarette smoking causes about 1 in every 5 deaths in the U.S. every year, the latest proposal from the Food and Drug Administration is hoping to snuff out the habit once and for all, with officials calling for lower nicotine levels inside cigarettes.
We're taking a significant step to address this by proposing a rule to reduce nicotine to a minimally or non-addictive level in cigarettes and certain other combusted tobacco products.
If you reduce the level of nicotine in cigarettes to minimally addictive levels, you're going to make it far easier for smokers to quit.
The FDA says this move would help roughly 13 million current smokers quit within a year and prevent millions more from ever getting hooked in the first place.
By the year 2100, this nicotine product standard could prevent approximately 48 million U.S. youth and young adults from starting smoking.
But because the proposal comes in the final stretch of the Biden administration, it will most likely fall on President-elect Trump's team to move the rule forward. There's no word yet on if it's being considered. Still, even if it does gain momentum, policy experts fear big tobacco companies will try and challenge it in court.
They will try to use every tactic and every strategy to delay it.
The Department of Justice is suing Walgreens, accusing the pharmacy giant of knowingly dispensing millions of unlawful prescriptions, including 4 opioid pills. The DOJ filed a civil complaint against Walgreens on Thursday. It claims that since 2012, Walgreens pharmacists allegedly ignored red flags that indicated prescriptions for controlled substances were likely to be unlawful. The DOJ also claims pharmacists were pressured to fill scripts without taking the time to confirm their validity. According to the complaint, some patients overdosed on opioids and died shortly after filling unlawful prescriptions at Walgreens. Well, Moderna is currently working on a vaccine to protect against the bird flu, and the company is getting more financial help for its development. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is awarding Moderna $590 million. The pharmaceutical company in 2023 began a study on a vaccine to protect against the H5 and H7 avian influenza viruses. Last July, it got a boost of nearly $180 million federal dollars for those efforts. Moderna saw positive results in its earlier phases of vaccine development, setting the stage to advance into a phase 3 trial. The broad term of avian influenza refers to a number of virus types that infect birds. That includes H5N1, which has sickened dozens of people in the U.S. We're in for another round of bone-chilling temperatures, and experts are urging you to stay safe. Excuse me, when it's cold, your body loses heat more quickly than it can be produced, and that can lead to, dangerous health problems. Mandy Gaither has tips from an emergency medicine doctor on how to keep your family safe throughout the winter.
When the temperatures fall, the danger rises.
Any amount of time spent on the cold, you're at risk for hypothermia.
Dr. Andrew Hill with Cleveland Clinic says winter weather can be dangerous for everyone. To stay safe, layer clothing. Wear moisture-wicking clothing underneath, made of wool or synthetic material. Avoid cotton. He says that will hold the moisture in. Then wear water and wind repellent shells over top.
It's one thing to have cold weather, an entirely different thing to have rain, snow that melts on your clothes, and especially to be in the wind. Those are just going to drop your core body temperature really quickly.
Certain extremities are most at risk for frost nip and frostbite, including your nose, ears, toes, cheeks, chin, and fingers.
Having some good warm insulated gloves, hat that covers your ears, a couple layers of socks maybe, all those are going to really protect you from the elements.
Hill says to also watch out for red flags. First signs of frostbite may be redness or pain on the body. He says to get inside, remove wet clothing, and soak the areas in warm water. But if you're noticing the skin is turning a dusky gray or blue or is blistering, seek emergency medical attention. As for hypothermia, signs in adults include shivering, exhaustion, confusion, fumbling hands, memory loss, slurred speech, and drowsiness.
We really need to prioritize getting to the ER immediately so we can resuscitate them.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, Dr. Hill says in winter weather, it's important to keep a close eye on the most vulnerable. That includes young children, older adults, and even pets. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a very cold day out there. Not very good to start, not much warmer later. We'll go over that forecast with you again when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, the second annual bridal market takes place at Memorial Hall in Pittsburgh.
And it is very cold outside. If you don't have to go out, don't. But if you do, we'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the St. Louis Cardinals make a stop at Missouri Southern as part of the Cardinal Caravan.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday, by the way. It is now officially Monday.
Yes.
It's January the 20th. Like I said, I have to look. I have to cheat. I've got the time up there. I do not have the date.
No, that's why we've got it right
We
here.
have to
It's
have it
also
right here. Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr.
It
Day.
is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It is also Inauguration
Yes,
Day.
lots going on.
With that said, we do want to remind folks real quick, we will not have birthdays and anniversaries today. We will have them tomorrow because of all the special programming. We will not be here at 6 a.m. CBS mornings will start a little earlier today. That is all you need to know. I've got to watch that movie at some point. I've really got to just watch so I can have some context. Let's take a look outside because today's a great day to stay indoors and maybe watch Jeremiah Johnson. Those of you maybe not heard this reference before, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but he's talking to this person and he describes himself and ends with, "That is all you need to know." For now. That's how I end the weather sometimes. Really, that's all you need to know for now is the fact that it's cold. Looks good, though. Got mostly clear skies for now. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin looks good as well. Everybody is in the same left turn lane. That's all right, though. We're all going to the same place. It doesn't really matter. KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue south of Pitt looking good. Again, the cold weather advisories and cold weather warnings have replaced wind chill watches, warnings, things of that nature. So cold weather advisories for the first time in a very long time. All the different weather offices that have issued these, because I think there's a total of 3 that have issued what you're seeing here, all agree on the expiration. They'll run through noon tomorrow, but that also means that through today, tonight, and into tomorrow, it is going to be bitterly cold across the region. By noon today, upper teens, some low 20s. We have a mix of mostly cloudy to cloudy skies, and we could have a few isolated snow showers, light flurries here and there. Now, some locations, mainly in the southeast Kansas at this point, look like may get upwards of a dusting to a half an inch. We're not expecting major accumulations. However, I do want to note that it's going to be cold enough, and it's been cold enough that it could stick to some roadways and overpasses, bridges, things of that nature. So just do keep that in mind. Otherwise, again, nothing significant accumulation-wise, but it is definitely going to be cold outside. We are still not getting a report from the Joplin Regional Airport, but backup data suggesting temperature still not much different than anybody else. We're 5 at Pittsburgh. We're in the single digits everywhere across the area this morning. It is a very cold start to the day. Now, thankfully, the winds have been light, so that's been good, but in some locations where they're even picking up just a wee bit, we've got 7 below in Fort Scott, 2 below zero Miami, 5 below zero Neosho Anderson. So we do have some locations where even with a light breeze, it feels considerably colder. Now, the good news is, again, most students do not have school today, so it's a good excuse for them to stay home where it's warm. And we're looking at, again, upper teens, low 20s, a few snow flurries out there. Those should wrap up at the latest by 10 o'clock tonight. No major accumulations, but they'll be there. We're still going to be cold tonight. We're going to be cold tomorrow, but we will eventually warm up. We'll have the details on all that for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks. The second annual bridal market was held yesterday at Memorial Hall in Carthage. Brides-to-be can shop up on last-minute items they need for their weddings, bridal showers, or bachelorette party. Vendors had items like jewelry and pictures and even some venues.
Wedding planning has been super exhausting and stressful, but coming here and seeing everything all in one spot is pretty awesome, and seeing the things that I've missed or didn't know that I needed.
I love to help people, and when I see them get excited, see them building a relationship with somebody that can help them, can work with them to make their day special, there's nothing like that.
Now, the idea behind the market is kind of a mixture between a bridal expo and a garage sale. The St. Louis Cardinals made a stop Saturday at MSSU in Joplin. The stop is a part of the Cardinal Caravan, in which members of the team stop at 20 cities in 4 days. Audience members also had the chance to meet the players, ask them questions, and get autographed items. Cardinals alumni Kyle McClellan and Bigny Molina were also a part of Saturday's caravan.
Well, I've been a Cardinals fan since I was a boy. Used to listen to them when I lived in Illinois, and so it's been many years, so it's kind of cool to pass that along to the younger generation. I'm enjoying it, and I think they are too.
Each guest also received a free gift from the Missouri Farm Bureau. La Bar and Grill in Pittsburg, Kansas hosted a watch party for the Kansas City Chiefs Saturday. The Chiefs fans were loud, proud, and ready to cheer on their favorite team in the AFC divisional round. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more details.
Today is all about the Chiefs. The Pit is the only place to come to watch the Chiefs because you got the best view everywhere that there is, and we love watching it here. The food is good. We love it here.
Chiefs fans flocked to the Pit to root for the defending back-to-back Super Bowl champions as they look to go on a run and win their third Super Bowl in a row. One of the fans knew what he wanted from the Chiefs, but he won't let a hypothetical loss ruin their good time.
Well, today's game, we're going to have to pick up on defense, but being at the Pit with everybody we know and all the friends just makes it 10 times better no matter if they win or lose.
But what's the difference between watching the game at the Pit instead of watching the game at home?
The food, the atmosphere, the waitresses are great. Everything here is so good. It just makes for a fun atmosphere, and there's not a bad seat in the house. We got TVs everywhere.
Not only did the Chiefs walk away with a win, the atmosphere created by the Chiefs Kingdom at the Pit was a winner as well. In Pittsburgh, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Whether the Chiefs win or lose in the next round, the Pit will still host a Super Bowl party as well. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. At least 4 people have died and 14 others injured in Ukraine after a Russian airstrike. Plus, the first round of Israeli hostages were released. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, topping World Watch, South Korea's impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol leaves court after arguing for his release. The court reviewed whether they would grant law enforcement's request for his formal arrest. Excuse me. Video shows Yoon's car driving away surrounded by his supporters. Now, he has been in detention since his arrest last week. Yoon faces potential rebellion charges as a result of his failed martial law order. His lawyer says he spoke for about 40 minutes to the judge during the almost 5-hour hearing. A Russian airstrike leaves at least 4 killed. The attack taking place in Kryvyi Rih. Now, 3 women and 1 man are said to be among the dead. The airstrike also damaging an educational institution and residential buildings. Military officials say another 14 people were injured, including 4 children. The attack taking place with a little over 1 month to go before the war between Russia and Ukraine enters its 3rd year. An emotional day in the Middle East as the first Israeli hostages were released as part of the long-awaited ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The deal also sent back 90 Palestinian prisoners and detainees. It's all part of a 42-day first phase of exchanges between Israel and Hamas. Mike Tobin reports from Tel Aviv.
In a mob of Hamas gunmen, 3 young women held hostage since October 7, 2023, were transferred from Hamas vehicles in Gaza City to Red Cross Jeeps. They were driven to Israeli special forces and ultimately to their mothers, who waited a year and a half to see and hold them. Hundreds of Israelis gathering at what has come to be called Hostage Square cheered at their liberation. 24-year-old Romy Gonen is from the north of Israel, captured at the Nova Music Festival. 31-year-old Doron Steinbracher from a kibbutz near the Gaza Strip was kidnapped from her home. 28-year-old Emily Damery, who is British, kidnapped from the same kibbutz. Her mother released a statement. Her nightmare is already behind her, but the impossible waiting of the rest of the families is still going on. Airlifted to the Sheba Hospital in Tel Aviv, preliminary examinations show the three women to be in good health. Emily lost 2 fingers during the October 7th terror attack.
I know, we all know, they have been through hell. They are emerging from darkness to light. They are really going from slavery to freedom.
In exchange, 90 Palestinians are to be freed from Israel's Ofer prison near Jerusalem. 78 of them will return to the West Bank, 12 to East Jerusalem. The hostage release was preceded by a ceasefire that brought Hamas gunmen out of hiding, parading with weapons to show the deadly organization survived.
We, along with our brothers in the Palestinian resistance factions, declare our commitment to a ceasefire agreement and our readiness to implement its provisions and abide by its conditions and terms of stopping the fighting.
As emotional as today was, there will be more like it. Next Saturday, another group of hostages is scheduled to be liberated. If the ceasefire holds, 30 more releases will stretch out over 6 weeks.
That's a look at World Watch. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's coming up now at 5:45 on this Monday morning, and it is very cold outside. Do not go outside if you don't have to, but I do know a lot of you don't really have a choice. You got to get out. You got things you got to do. You got a job to go to, whatever the case may be. So if you are, make sure you bundle up. Now, thankfully, the winds are going to be a little nicer to us today, but with these cold temperatures, it will not take much of a breeze to bring those wind chills down. By noon, we're talking upper teens, low 20s. We are mostly cloudy to just straight up cloudy, and we'll have opportunities for some light snow or isolated snow showers across the region as we go through today. Now, at this point, at most, we're looking at maybe a dusting to a ½ inch on mainly grassy surfaces, but could see some light snow stick to elevated surfaces like bridges, overpasses, leading to a few slick spots. But again, we're not expecting anything major. Most of us won't see anything more than a few light flurries. But those of us that might see a little more snow, again, nothing significant, but a few slick spots will be possible. Skies will clear overnight tonight. That means we're going to have another cold one back into the single digits, so not dissimilar from how we're starting our day today. Now, Tuesday, though, plentiful sunshine. It will absolutely look wonderful outside. It will not be so wonderful temperature-wise, but it will look nice. And we'll have those southwest winds, which are a good indicator. We're going to see slightly warmer temperatures start to roll into the area. So, as you see, look at how slowly temperatures fall overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. We're looking at highs mid-upper 20s tomorrow. We're looking at lows that, if everything goes right, many of us may not fall much further below that before we'll turn around and start to warm up. Now, by Wednesday, it's a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies. The temperatures on the way up, so we start to see a few more mid-upper 30s out there. So again, still a little below normal, but certainly some improvements on the way, especially compared to this business right now. Let's see. Let's take a quick look around the map. Looks like Lamar and Fort Scott, both the coldest reporting stations, sitting at 3 degrees. And then Independence, yes, Independence, the warm spot at 9. And then again, even with the light breeze, some of us, Fort Scott, for example, earlier, wind chills 7 below 0 in Fort Scott, and that's with a very light breeze. So again, it does not take much to make it feel considerably colder. We're going to be starting around 6. So single digits to start the day. Upper teens by 11 o'clock, partly cloudy, clouds increasing. Then we'll have some flurries possible. Again, most of us won't really receive much of anything in terms of accumulation, but we could still see a few stray flurries out there. That will continue through the afternoon for us. And again, our highs today, upper teens, low 20s, northwest breeze right around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into the evening we go. Light flurries continue. They should be done by 10. Temperatures falling back through the teens or the lower teens by 10 o'clock, eventually back into the single digits again tonight. Partly cloudy, but the winds, thankfully, will be calm. Tomorrow, a little warmer. mid-upper 20s for most of us, sunny. And again, see our lows back into the upper teens and low 20s. So not a lot of dropping going on because we get that southwest breeze, slightly warmer air in here Tuesday. That'll help slow down the temperature drop Tuesday night. Then we're talking 30s. Wednesday, Thursday, maybe a few snow showers Thursday. We'll see what happens there for you. Even warmer Saturday. Yeah, there's some rain chances, but we're talking 50 degrees. Temperatures bouncing back and forth, but otherwise staying better than where we are right now. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, what started as a hobby has now grown into a nonprofit organization for one family in Brownville, Maine. The family has made it their mission to feed hundreds of deer each year. While it is quite expensive, the venture has brought joy not only to the family, but hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Alyssa Thurlow has more.
Good morning, guys. They hear that clanging of the silo. Even the sound of the machine, they know it's breakfast time.
Welcome to a typical January morning for the McMahon family of Brownville. They're in their 16th season feeding deer to help restore herd numbers in the Piscataquis County area.
We're pushing 1,200 pounds in this machine going down.
Last season, they dished out 28 tons of oats in 84 days on their 12-acre property.
We try to get around 5 pounds per deer. That's what the biologists recommend, 3 to 5 pounds to sustain their health.
In addition to local Maine oats, the deer also enjoy a diet of acorns and apples.
We go through 3 bushels.
Each morning around 9 a.m., you can find hungry herds waiting for their meal. Their movements are all captured on live stream and broadcast online.
We usually put all the good stuffs in troughs 1 and 8, and it gives the viewers the best crunching sensation. A lot of people love to hear the crunch. We put the acorns and stuff in those troughs also.
Each day, thousands of people across the world tune in to see the deer and other critters on the Brownville's Food Pantry for Deer YouTube page. The page has 134,000 subscribers and growing.
It's therapeutic to a lot of people, and we love reading the comments, and it's just a lot better aspect for people to watch because it feels like you're really there. The clarity of it is incredible.
Monitoring the 5 cameras upstairs is Brownville's Food Pantry for Deer founder Richard McMahon.
I never would have dreamed it would get this big. Everybody seems to enjoy it. I think just because it's basic nature. It's back to nature as close as you can get.
Feeding the deer, he says, is his calling. He fell in love with it as a 7-year-old kid in New York.
We used to put quarters in a little machine and get a whole handful of peanuts to feed the deer. I grew up on deer meat when I was a kid. Back in the 50s, this was pretty common here. But now I've changed. Instead of eating them, I feed them.
He's still at it 71 years later.
I feel good when I see all these creatures leave in the spring all fat and sassy and happy.
Keeping them happy and fed takes a lot of time and money. Right now, they're feeding approximately 700 pounds of oats daily to 150 to 200 deer. That adds up quickly. The McMahons say it costs up to $20,000 a year just for feed. To help with costs, they've started a GoFundMe. All donations directly fund the purchase of feed and essential supplies.
We appreciate every penny that comes in because it helps these guys make it through the winter.
The GoFundMe campaign is more than halfway toward a fundraising goal of $15,000. We're back with more right after this. Well, this cold and flu season, Progresso Soup is offering a unique way to get your chicken noodle soup fix. Progresso is introducing Soup Drops, a hard shell candy with all the flavors of chicken noodle soup packed in. The drops come in a box with a can looking like regular Progresso soup, but instead of actual soup, there are 20 soup drops inside. You also get a regular can of yummy Progresso traditional regular chicken noodle soup, all that to celebrate National Soup Month. And Grab the Fondue said, order a cheese pizza with a side of mac and cheese. Today, America is celebrating all things cheesy. January 20th is National Cheese Lovers Day. Now, cheese has a special place in Americans' hearts and diets. If you don't believe it, just look at the National Day calendar. This is just one of 18 other cheese-specific days honoring cheese in some form or fashion. There's National String Cheese Day in September, National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day in April, and National Cheesecake Day in July.
You know, if you ever find yourself craving cheese, it could be an indication that you need to cheer up, because cheese actually triggers the release of serotonin and dopamine in the brain, which makes you feel happy. And you might want to consume cheese once you try the soup candy, which I'm pretty sure that Willy Wonka tried back in the original Willy Wonka movie back in the 70s. The thing where you had like the three-course meal in the candy.
In the gum.
Yeah, that's kind of like the same thing here. All good ways to stay inside, though, because it is going to be cold outside. 6 to start, upper teens by late morning, increasing clouds. A few stray flurries will be possible. No major accumulations possible, but slick spots will be possible here and there, especially bridges, overpasses. Upper teens, low 20s, northwest winds 5 to 10. Into the evening we go. The snow showers wrap up by 10. We're back to the cold weather again, down to about 5 tonight. Skies gradually clear. Sunny tomorrow, a hair warmer, upper 20s, and we can see the 30s as we head into the weekend. Few snow showers Thursday, 50 on Saturday, and maybe a few rain showers. That's it for us for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.